you're going to continue through at least 2021 here. Of course, the Olympics got postponed a year, but how difficult is it going to be to make 57 kilos going forward?
That's in the question. I didn't, back in, I think it was 2016, I didn't ever want to do it again. That's why I went up to 61 and made that change. And I ended up doing it back. I made my mind up. I was going back from 65 to 57. Wasn't sure which one I wanted to do. And then Italy kind of came around and kind of made up my mind on this is what I was going to do. I really did a good job of shrinking my body. I mean, it took a process, long time, a couple months. But I mean, I'm not 100% sure what I'm doing moving forward. What my plans are with weight. So right now, I mean, that's kind of undecided, whether I go back down to 57, whether it's 61 for worlds, and stuff again. More than likely it'll be 61 if that's the weight class. But I just feel like that weight class fits me a lot better. But I've also thought about, maybe a different challenge. I've kind of proven to myself that I kind of redeemed myself and got back down to 57. Back from the 2016, I didn't really do very well there. And I mean, with the weight cut, not like competing, like the weight cut was just bad. And, I redeemed myself that way, and I showed myself that I can do it the right way, and I can do it over a long period of time. Now the new challenge kind of for me is maybe to maybe show myself, I can get bigger and still compete, and that's something that kind of is kind of motivating me right now, where I've proved I can shrink my body and still compete. I can maintain where my natural body weight kind of is at and compete. Maybe put on a little size and get up to 65 and compete. Maybe I don't know yet. I don't know what weight entails for me in the future.
You said the process of getting your body down to 57 kilos and it takes a couple months. Can you take us through that process and what that's like to do that and to shrink your body?
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge calorie deficit, but at the same time, you got to make sure you're staying hydrated. That's one thing that I probably didn't do the best job of back in 2016 was hydration part, and just maintaining that everyday lifestyle. Every day, having a routine where you wake up, you have a certain amount of what you eat, or you have your workout, and then you have your plan. I mean, I have my daily week pretty much. I had it all laid out on what I was going to do. Obviously, there was some adjustments here and there, but I had a pretty routine plan where I'd wake up, I'd eat a little breakfast, I'd either go on a walk or go on a run or a jog. I'd do something active in the morning. You put a little bit in you, whether you hang out a little bit, take a nap, and then go back and kind of do my on the mat work a little later or late morning. Sometimes it'd follow up with like a lift or something. Then in the evening, it'd be a lot of cardio. I went to GB3 a lot to do a lot of cardio, and Steiner helped me out a lot with that, a ton. So I remember when I first started running with Steiner on the treadmill, he'd warm up and he'd be on like 9, and I'd be on like 7 or 8, and then eventually, and he got me to make it where I could go a solid 10, 12 minutes on 10 miles per hour, and I worked my way up to where I could do it for like 18 minutes, 17 minutes, where I'd go just 10 minutes straight, or 17 minutes straight, 15 minutes straight on 10 miles per hour, and just kind of had to really build up that base for running. And that was one of the best ways to burn a lot of my calories. And I think that one really helped me a lot with shrinking the body and losing some other body weight in a way that I probably didn't always lose. I didn't always like to run. Maybe I'd get on the treadmill for like 10 minutes or whatever, and it wouldn't be at a high intense pace, but that I think really helped burn a lot of calories. And then just the structured lifting that I did with them too, over the time, I think that was one big, huge difference for me. They had a plan, and, it helped and it worked. And also just, the eating at night, that was one of probably the toughest ones. I really had to cut back on what I put in my body in the evenings. After 8 o'clock, 8:30, I was just drinking water, and a lot of my intake on liquids was just water. It was a lot of just water, water, and not a lot of flavored drinks and other things here and there. And I think over time, I kind of just learned to adapt with it. I understood my body and how it worked with certain foods and intake and workouts, that from years past to now, with all that experience of cutting weight, and I put it all kind of together and used what worked and kind of just went with it.
Who comes up with that plan when you make that decision for nutrition? Do you come up with it? Do you have help? How do you maintain that diet, and who helps you with that?
I had help. I talked to the nutritionist Rob Skinner at the Olympic Training Center. He helped me out a lot. He really helped me out a lot, like at competitions, like what I needed to put in my body. Here we have a nutritionist as well that would give me certain things, but a lot of it was, I kind of went by feeling of my body. If I was starving, I didn't just let my body starve. I would, if I had to maybe deviate from the plan a little bit, I'd put some stuff in my body to feel good, to get through a workout. Maybe I might have to do a little extra, a little longer. But like I said, throughout those years of cutting weight before to now, where I've kind of just used all that experience, and I don't know, my body just kind of feels it a little bit, I guess, now, where, it would not what I want and more what I need, my body would react to and tell me, and, I'd kind of listen to it and trust it, I guess. So really a lot of it was just kind of the feel of my body and trusting what I think I need to put in at the time, and I went to school for, I did school for some of this stuff too. So I kind of have an understanding of a lot of it as well.
This is the truly fascinating part about wrestling, because when you think of high-level competitions, whether it's basketball or football or swimming, track and field, nobody's having to shrink their body down and make weight and perform at a high level. When you have to do that and go way down, this isn't just 61 kilos, this is 57 kilos, so you're going way below your natural body weight. How do you maintain that you can compete at a high level at a lower weight?
It was frustrating, and it was actually, there was a lot of tough times where I wasn't sure about it. Like I said, it was a long monthly process, but leading up to 2.5 weeks before I left to Italy, I was still up there a little bit in weight, and I was kind of questioning it a little bit. And then, when I got there, it just all kind of fell into place. It just all happened, and it's hard to explain, just because, it just was a crazy roller coaster ride of, a little bit of my weight would go all up to 140, 142, and then it'd be back down to 38, 35. And, I had a goal, and I got on the plane right before I left. I wanted to be around 32 and put 3 pounds in me. 2 of it was just going to be straight water before I got on the plane, and then a sandwich or something to put a little in me, so I'd be 10 over. And, I got on the plane about 10 over, and I got to Italy, and I just kind of managed it from there. We were in Virginia duels right before I left to Italy, and I was hurting a little bit that week. I kind of hit a wall once. So I was just kind of dang, I remember working out hard, went and ate some food. I came back upstairs, and I was still 139, and I was dang, I'm still 14 pounds overweight. I've got a long ways to go. I'm 2 weeks out, 2.5 weeks out, or not even 2.5 weeks out. And, it was just, sticking with the process and sticking with that gut feeling, I guess, of what I need. And sometimes I would question myself a little bit about it, but I would still just, if I felt it was right, I would just do it. And, it worked out. I felt great. I felt better the day of weigh-ins at 57 kilos than I did weighing in the night before 57 kilos in 2016. So I don't know if it was, maybe more of that consistency of all of it together over time, that my body recovered a little faster, and maybe the different foods I was putting in my body and how I put them in. Because maybe the night before weigh-ins, I kind of crashed a lot more, at the end, you can lose. I've lost 10 pounds in an hour before doing that kind of stuff. And that's not the healthiest way to go about it. And trying to have your body bounce back from that isn't probably the best. So I did it with a longer process, and my body recovered great, and I felt great. I was moving, I was shooting out there, and I didn't really cramp up, and I felt great.
Is that plane ride over miserable?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad actually. It's really miserable when you get people on the left and the right and in the middle. I actually ended up getting a whole aisle to myself, so I was able to lay down. And I'm not a huge guy either, so I mean it was I got to put my feet up and lay and relax a little bit. It was long, yeah, definitely. But over time, I've gotten used to them. I don't mind those long plane rides nowadays.
Going the opposite way, let's say you go up a weight class, how do you manage it that way? How do you build strength? How do you pack it on to make sure that you're big enough for the next weight class up?
Yeah, that's something I'm working on right now. Getting there, just started taking some more protein and stuff, and the calorie intake. So now not so much of a calorie deficit, and now it's more of a calorie surplus, like up plus. And the strength and conditioning coach is gonna help me with that, and just hit the weights, and eat good high energy protein foods, and it's gonna be a process, and like I said, that's not something that I'm not 100% sure of if that's the route I'm gonna go. It's just, I mean, that's kind of in the back of my mind of some things, and I haven't quite started that process yet, so I know that's going to take a while too. It's not just going to take a couple months. It's going to take a year, to get to where you really want to be. Something I've really been focusing on during this whole quarantine thing isn't really to get bigger, hasn't been to lose weight. It's been more kind of I've been kind of enjoying life a little bit the first couple months of it. Kind of took a break and let my body heal up, where I haven't had those long breaks of a month where my body doesn't do a whole lot and it just kind of heals. So I kind of let my body do that for the first couple months, and then I really got into it with I've been doing a lot of little rehab band and functional training stuff to get my body mobile, to my joints to be mobile, my shoulders and my hips and my knees and my ankles, and kind of strengthening up little joint areas and little injuries that I have had that were healing up now, and now they're healed up, and now just really strengthening those areas. And then the next step here probably in a couple of weeks is really going to be hitting the weights a little harder, even more. But I really wanted my body to take time to heal up, and then allow my body to recover, and then now even just maintain.
What's the life of a wrestler like when you're trying to make world teams and Olympic teams and not many spots available? What's that like every day?
There's only 6 for Olympic team, and there's a lot of guys that are training every day and they're hungry for it. There's a lot of guys that have dreamed of it. So you just have to prepare every day and believe in yourself, and surround yourself around people that believe in you. It's probably 2 of the big things: is you believe in yourself and surround yourself around people that believe in you. And then obviously training partners and coaches help and all that. But it's difficult. There is only a certain amount of spots, and we're all fighting for them. But I guess it is what it is too. At the same time, it's something that it's like a norm. We're used to it. And I guess it's just different than a lot of other sports. There's how many NFL players on one team, and here for us, we don't have an NFL team. We don't have a professional thing like that. We just have the Olympics and the Worlds, and that's kind of our professional thing compared to basketball and football like that. So there's not many of them. So you think of, my high school coach explained it to me this way: there's X amount of guys on a football team, and Joe, the year I was number 2 in 2015, he goes, Joe, you're second in the United States at this weight. You would be on the professional football team right now. And, when he put that into my perspective, it made me feel a little better. But at the same time, I fell short and stuff. But thinking of it like that, you are a pretty high level, you are a very high level athlete, even if, you place in 8th at the US Open. You know, like, I mean, you would make a team then, you know, even if you were in round of 12, like, you know, it's just a different sport where we're individualized a little bit. So it's just different.
Going forward right now, what does this look like for you? I know that you have a decision to make on what weight class you want to go, but as far as just getting back into training, I think you said in a couple weeks you want to start getting serious again. When do you make the decision on what weight class you want to go?
I don't know. I think I don't think the 65 will be here. Like, I mean, I don't think it's going to be here next year. I think it's if continue to compete down the road, you know, maybe 2024. That would be like the ideal goal. I don't see myself competing at 57 kilos in 2024. I just don't see it happening. Just me. I mean, the stuff that I got from my body through, I'm getting older. It's just it's just not something I want to do. And I want a different challenge too. So if that's it, competing in 2024 would be probably 65 kilos, and that gives me enough time from now till then to get big enough and whatnot. And I've been up to as big as 163 back when I first got here, and I lifted every day, and I was running. I was weighing about 57, 59, and I kind of drank a bunch of water one day, and I was feeling not the best, and I was up there in weight, and and just kind of see what happens right now, and it all just depends on what we're doing here. Not really sure when the next time I'll compete is right now, so I think that's kind of the first step is get ready for a competition. Get ready for a competition sometime in the near future, and then kind of just play it by ear from there.